Hi friends, I'm Wednesday. I'm going to be guiding us through a little beginner yoga flow. If you've never done yoga before, this is a great place to start. If you have, also a great opportunity maybe to just have a nice little easy flow, little stretch. So we're going to start in child's pose. So toes will come together, knees are wide, and sit back. Try and get your sits bone in contact with your heels. And then we're just gonna let our torso melt down into the ground. Spread your fingers wide. Grab a hold of the floor if you can. Using the resistance of your fingers to create a stretch along the back of your back. You can also use your arms to push your sits bones back, maintaining the contact against your heels, really getting a nice stretch here. Along the whole back, the shoulders, stretching our fingers wide. Let's crawl our hands over to the right side, placing the left hand on top of the right hand, and just melt down once again. Should feel a little stretch here along the left side body. And to the other side. Let's move over to the left, placing the right hand on top of the left hand, melting our torso down. Take these moments of stillness to deepen your breathing. You may find on an exhale that you're able to sink a little bit lower into the pose. You can take the inhale to lengthen just a bit and then deepen as you exhale. Walk our hands back to center and rock forward up into all fours. Let's adjust here. So look at your hips. You want to make sure your knees are the same width, so hip width apart. We want our hands right underneath our shoulders. And feet are just, legs are parallel, just behind the knees. Neutral tabletop. And we're gonna inhale and arch our back. Tailbone goes up, we gaze forward. On an exhale, we're gonna round. Starting to do some cat-cows here. Rounding the back, sucking our belly button towards our spine. Elbow or shoulders come up towards the ears. Pausing here for a moment. And then on an inhale, let's drop the belly for cow. Exhale into cat. Continue here at your own breath. Inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. If you'd like to add in dancing lion here, you may. On your cow, you just send your hips back, arching your back as you do so, looking forward, and then we swing the hips around, coming up into cat at the top. Just an option, you can stay in regular cat-cows if you like. Make sure if you do add in dancing lion to change the direction that you're rotating your hips. All right, finish up whatever side you're on, and then we will meet in tabletop. Take a moment to adjust if you need to, back to neutral tabletop position. And let's take our left leg and extend it behind, and then take our right arm and extend it out in front of us. This is bird dog. We're gonna hold here for 5 breaths. Breathing for 5. Breathing 4. Tightening our core, sucking the belly button towards the spine. Breathing 3. Back foot is either pointed or flexed. Leg is active. Breathing 2. And 1. Come back to neutral tabletop and then extend your right leg out. Foot is flexed or pointed. Left arm comes out ahead of us. Breathing for 5. Breathing 4. Maybe lift your leg a little higher by tightening your butt cheek. Be breathing 3. Breathing 2. And 1. Back to neutral tabletop. We're going to extend the left leg once more. Right arm extend. This time we're going to do 5 crunches. So on the exhale, knee meets elbow. Crunch 2. And we inhale, extend. 4. And 5. Other side. Let's extend the right leg, extend left arm, and exhale, we crunch for 1. Inhale, we extend. Crunch 2. 3. Feel free to move at the pace of your own breath here. 4. And 5. Come back to neutral. Little bit of a challenge here. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees only about 1 inch. We're gonna hover here. Tighten your abdominal muscles, sucking your belly button towards your spine. Breathing for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. We're gonna send our hips up, straightening our legs into down dog. First down dog of the day. Maybe pedal out your feet, whatever feels good here. Going to unplug our hands and walk them towards our feet. Coming into a nice easy ragdoll here at the back of the mat. Maybe grab a hold of either elbow. If you want to bend your knees here, that might relieve some lower back pressure if you're feeling any pain there. A deep bend in the knees can always relieve that. If you even want to make contact with your belly and the tops of your thighs, that's another good option. Taking what feels good for your body here. Let's take our left hand to the floor, and we're gonna do a deep bend in the left leg. Try and keep the right leg straight. And we're gonna take our right arm, peel it open towards the sky, gazing at this hand. Should feel a nice deep stretch along this right leg here. Maybe take your wrist in some circles. Make sure to go both directions. And switch. Let's come back to neutral, pass through ragdoll, and bring our right hand down to the ground in front of us. Left leg is straight, deep bend in the right leg. Left arm opens up towards the sky, gazing at our left hand. Maybe rotate the wrist here, both directions. Coming back to neutral. Do a micro bend in your knees, and let's slowly come up to standing. All right. Now we're in a standing position. We're going to take pyramid pose. So all we're going to do, we're going to take a small step forward. Right foot's going to face forward. Back foot will face or go out at about a 45-degree angle. We want our heels either in a line or on a narrow train track. We're going to inhale, lengthen our spine and look up. And as we exhale, fold over that right leg. Pyramid pose, getting a nice stretch in the back of the right leg here. You can put your hands on either side of your feet or either side of your right foot. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can either grab a hold of either elbow or even do reverse prayer behind your back. That's calling to you today. Once you're here, maybe work your right hip back just a little bit to keep the hips in one line. Now, either stay in this pyramid, or if you want a little bit of a challenge, we can take our hands as a kickstand and rock forward, lifting the left leg as we do. If you choose to come into this standing needle, back leg is active, foot is active. If you want to work on your balance, take one or both hands behind this calf. Or you can use your fingers as a kickstand, either way. All right, wherever you are, if you're in standing needle, bring your hands to the ground, left foot comes back to where we started for pyramid. Let's bring our hands to prayer at the chest, and on an inhale, we come up. Keep your hands where they are. We're just gonna flip our feet around. Now the left foot faces forward, right foot is behind it, about a 45-degree angle, either in one straight line with the heels or a narrow train track. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we fold over this left leg. Bringing the hands on either side of the foot or behind the back. If you did standing needle on the other side, go ahead and take your hands to the ground in front of your foot, rock forward, and extend the right leg behind you, activating the foot, activating the leg, maybe taking one or both hands behind the left calf for some balance. If you're not feeling ready for standing needle, then just deepen your pyramid stretch. Maybe finding a little bit of a deeper stretch as you exhale. Standing needle friends, bring your hands to the ground if they're not already there. Let's lower that back foot. Bring our hands into prayer position. Pause here. And on an inhale, we come up. Keep the hands, switch the feet back, and release the hands. I'm gonna have us come step to the front of the mat. And now we're going to do triangle trikonasana. On an inhale, we sweep our arms out to the right, taking a big step to the right. Left foot's gonna face forward, right foot's gonna face the back of the mat. Inhale, we bring our arms out to a T, and exhale, we fold over this right leg. So there are variations you can take in triangle here. Maybe your flexibility brings you to here, maybe to your calf. That is one option. Wherever you are, you want to be looking at this top hand. Maybe you can go down to your ankle. Maybe all the way to your toe. If you can reach your toe, go ahead and wrap your two-piece fingers, your pointer and middle finger around your big toe. Wherever you are, we peel open, gazing towards our left hand. Let's breathe here for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. Release the toe if you have it. On an inhale, we come up. Keep your arms, switch the feet. Rotate your right foot facing forward, left foot faces the front of the mat. On an exhale, we fold over this left leg. Make sure you're not putting any weight on this leg. You want to be using your abdominal muscles to hold you up. Wherever you are on this leg, find your edge. Maybe one leg is a little bit different than the other. That is totally okay. That's very common. Maybe on the last leg, you could get to your ankle, and here only to your shin. That is totally fine. The body is not symmetrical. Wherever you are, heel open your right arm, gaze up at your right hand, and breathe for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. Inhale. We come back up to standing. Exhale, we're gonna fire up our legs. We're gonna use this one to power it towards the front of the mat. Nice. Let's take a vinyasa. So when we take a vinyasa, or usually our starting pose, is called samastitihi. That means our big toes are together, heels have a little bit of a gap in them, and then our hands are by our sides. We gaze forward. This is our starting posture. So vinyasa, if you're with me, let's inhale, palms together, gazing at the thumbs. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we reach towards the mat, looking forward. This is almost like a cow stretch here, if you remember from the beginning. Exhale, we plant our hands in one swoop. Plant our hands, shoot the feet back, and lower down into a chaturanga. Inhale, we use our hands to push us up into an up dog, maybe lifting our thighs off of the ground. And exhale, we flip the toes and we send it up, sending our hips up into a down dog. I'm gonna pause here for a moment. If your breath is shaky, try to gain control here. Try and deepen your breath. Pause here for a moment. If down dog does not feel restful, you may take a moment here in child's pose, just like this. If that feels more restful, that's easier to catch your breath in, go ahead and do that. Two more breaths as you are. All right. Let's look forward. If you're in a child's pose, come to a comfortable seat. If you're in down dog, if you want to hop through to a seat or step through to a seat, you can take your right foot, left foot, and now you're in a cross-legged position. Gonna scoot this way so y'all can see me. Let's take an easy forward fold. Feet are out in front of us. Just fold forward. If you'd like to use a strap here or a towel, if you can't quite make contact with your feet, this is a great option. Just loop it around the bottom, grab a hold of that strap. If you can grab a hold of your toes, great. If you want to grab a hold of the bottom of your feet, also an option. Got a few breaths here. Another opportunity to reconnect with the deep breath. Two more breaths here. All right, inhale, come up and release the feet. We're gonna take Vinyasa. So left leg comes in first, comes to about a 90-degree angle here. So right leg is extended. Ideally, or in the full expression of the pose, we want this left foot along the inner right thigh. If you're not able to create a 90-degree angle, if it's too much on the knee, that's totally fine. Maybe take a modification, bring your foot to here, or you can continue to do a forward fold if that is also not doing it for your knee. Got some options. Wherever you're at, if you've got your right leg extended, let's inhale our arms up, and as we do this, we're gonna square off our shoulders to this right leg. And exhale, we fold over the right leg. Here's another great opportunity to use the strap if you can't quite make contact with this foot. Here we breathe for 3. Breathing 2. And one. Inhale, we look up and we release the foot. Take your left hand about 6 inches behind your left butt cheek. And on an inhale, we're gonna bring our torso up and our arm comes to fall behind us. Stargazer. Lifting your hips up, should feel a nice stretch in your right hip along your right side body, letting that arm hang behind you. And on an exhale, we come back to Janusasana. If you'd like a little ab challenge here, we're gonna switch out our feet, but try not to use your hands. Maybe plant them behind you, lifting and switching them out. Adjust once you get here. So now we've got the left leg extended in front of us. Right leg is at a 90-degree angle or at whatever modification works for your knees. And our right sole of our foot is along the left inner thigh. Let's inhale, our arms up to the sky, squaring off the shoulders as we do, and exhale, we fold over this left leg. Breathing for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. Inhale, we come up and we release the foot. Let's take the right hand behind the right butt cheek about 6 inches. Left arm comes out and prepare to lift everything up. On an inhale, we lift the hips towards the sky. Right arm or left arm sweeps over the head. Nice side body stretch here. On an exhale, I'm going to send it back down to Janusasana and meet me here. I'm going to roll back on over. You guys may be in the right position already. If you'd like a bit of an abdominal challenge again here, I'm going to bring my arms out parallel with one another and very slowly lower down. Nice. So once you've arrived, we're just going to take a bridge. So place your feet about hip width distance, maybe a little further than hip width if that feels better for you. Feet come pretty close to the sits bones here. Arms are along the sides of the body. Let's inhale our hips up. Once you've got your hips up, shimmy your shoulders underneath your body. And if you can, interlace your fingers here behind your back against the floor. Send your hips up as high as they can go. Almost like you're gonna straighten out your legs. Breathing here for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. Release the hands, lower down the hips, and grab a hold of your knees, rocking side to side. All right, now we're gonna rock forward and back until we come to a seat, and we're actually just passing through. So come to all fours if you can, and then lay down. Here we're gonna do a baby cobra. So take your hands on either sides of your chest. Feet will stay glued to the ground. On our inhale, we're gonna inhale our torso up, allowing the hands to hover off the ground. We breathe here for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. Lower down, allowing your cheek to rest on the mat. All right, let's take our arms along the sides of our body. Glue the arches of your feet together. We'll bring our head to center This time we're going to lift the feet and the arms up. So let's everybody exhale here. Inhale, send it up. Lift up your chest, lift your feet. Arms are flying behind you. Our gaze is just in front of the mat. We breathe here for 3. Breathing 2. Little higher. And 1. Lower it down, take rest. All right, let's take our hands in front of us and we're just gonna use them to push ourselves back into a child's pose. You'll probably need to adjust your knees here, taking them wide, toes are touching. Let's take a moment here in a neutral child's pose, coming back to where we started, using the fingers, crawling them forward on the mat to stretch out the back, stretching the fingers wide, sending the sits bones back to make contact with the heels if possible. Let's inhale our left arm up to the sky and exhale, thread it through the right arm, laying down, putting the weight onto this left shoulder, giving it a nice stretch. Okay, coming back to neutral. Unthread the left arm, bringing it out in front of us. And let's inhale the right arm up. Exhale, thread it through, putting our weight onto this right shoulder. Breathing for 3. Breathing 2. And 1. We unthread. Now we're gonna come into frog. I'm gonna turn around to face you all again. So for frog, you want your knees at least as wide as your mat. If your floor is hard like mine, you may want to turn to the side like this so that you don't hurt your inner knees. So get your knees or your legs nice and wide. The goal is to have your calves parallel with one another. Feet are sent out to the side, flexed. And then we can either stay on our hands like this or come down onto the elbows and then just rock back. Sending the hips back towards the feet. You should feel a nice stretch here in the groin area, all up the inner thigh. Three more breaths here. All right, on an inhale, let's take our hands underneath us to push us up and then just find a comfortable seat. You may have to readjust on the mat. One more abdominal challenge here if you want it. If not, meet me in the laying down position, arms out in front. Knees are bent, and we slowly lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna bend this left leg, right leg comes into a figure 4. We're gonna do reclined pigeon on our back. Reach through behind the left calf. Grab, interlace your hands behind your calf and then pull. If you're ever in a yoga class and a half pigeon is suggested on the belly and maybe your knees or your back aren't feeling good, this is always a great option to come to. You can do pigeon on your back. It's the same stretch but without as much pressure on the knees or the lower back. All right, let's switch. I'm gonna bring the left foot down. bring the right foot down, and then let's bend the left leg. Left ankle comes in contact with the right knee, and I'm going to use my hands, reach through, interlace them behind my right thigh, and recline. Using your arms to deepen the stretch. Should feel a nice stretch along the back and sides of the thigh. Alright, right foot comes down, and then I'm going to lengthen both legs actually. Coming back to neutral. I'm going to take my left leg up and then send it over. We're stacking our left hip on top of our right hip here. If you want to use your right hand to guide this left leg over top of you, can. Tee out your left arm, gazing to your left for a supine twist here. Spinning back onto the back. Grab the left leg once more, pull it into the outer edge of your rib cage, and lengthen. Now for the other side, bringing the right leg up, bending that right knee, squeeze it into the outer edge of your right rib cage, and then we're going to put our right hip on top of the left, stacking them. Right leg comes over the body, maybe grab a hold of it with your left arm, tee out your right, and gaze to your right. Supine twist on the right side. Coming back into neutral. Grab that right leg, squeeze it in one more time. Grab both legs. Wrap your arms around your legs, bring your forehead to your knees, squeeze yourself into a tiny ball. Ooh, maybe rock over to one side accidentally. While you're here, thank yourself for showing up today. It's not easy. I know I always feel better after I allow myself to show up for yoga or anything else in my life. Thank yourself for all the things you've been able to do. Release your legs, bring them to the ground, soles of the feet together, recline Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. Taking a moment here to notice your breathing. Notice how you're feeling, how your body's feeling, how your mind is feeling. Maybe your mind's a little bit more quiet than it was when you first showed up. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel, not dwelling on anything. You may stay here, or if you'd like, to lengthen out your legs. Let your arms fall to either side of you for Shavasana, the final resting pose. You may do that as well. If you're going to find Shavasana, palms are facing up. Relax everything. Let it fall heavy onto the mat. Maybe your thighs roll out. Feet are relaxed. Taking a little stillness in our meditation here. If any thoughts are coming, notice them and allow them to pass. find focusing on sounds helps. Meditating isn't always easy. Thoughts come up, feelings happen, but we don't have to dwell on them. Bring your attention back to the sounds happening around you. I invite you all to stay in this Shavasana as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come back, start by moving your fingers and toes. Maybe gently rock your head back and forth. And when you're ready, roll onto your favorite side. Come into fetal position. Maybe use your arm as a pillow if you'd like. Taking another moment of rest here. Keeping your eyes closed, gently push yourself up into a seated position. Blink open your eyes. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for creating space for yourself. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.